This video is about the process of critiques. There are a couple of different ways that someone can write about another person's writing product. One is a summary, which involves just condensing the content of that other piece of writing for the convenience of the reader. A critique is really much more than that. A critique is intended to assess, evaluate, and discuss the other piece of writing. So a critique really is much more than a summary. A critique will include some reminders, refreshers of the content of what's being critiqued, but the fundamental purpose of the critique is to assess, evaluate, judge whether the piece of writing is correct, whether it achieves its objectives, etc. Although critique and criticism both are words that start with the same letters, they are a critique is not necessarily a negative assessment. A critique can be mostly positive. A critique can also be mostly negative, but it's not necessarily a criticism in the commonly understood negative. Let's look at a document that'll help us to go through the process of writing a critique. As I said before, a critique is an analysis and an evaluation, not just a summary. Summary just says what was in it, and it answers the question, what did the author say? A critique, as I said, is an analysis, an interpretation, and an evaluation, and the goal is to assess how, why, and how well the subject was covered by the author that's being critiqued. So, what are the steps in this? First step is to actually determine, make an analysis of the text. What is going on? What's the main point? An extension to what is the purpose, the intended audience. Everybody's writing, whether it's your critique, your own writing, your development writing, your completed writing, all of these things should be part of your thought process in writing. The critique goes on. The analysis part of the critique involves trying to determine what arguments and evidence are presented. So that's an analysis, just what is in front of you. Then the second part of it is to take a closer look at the elements of the essay and to evaluate them. Is the argument logical, clear, organized? Are the facts accurate? Are the terms clear? Many other items of assessment are important in creating a critique. Okay, so remember the question to be answered is, how does the author approach the subject, and how well is the presentation made? Is the argument supported? Is there sufficient evidence? Is it clear? So that's what a critique is, and it involves asking all of these questions, especially the first 2/3 of these. In scientific writing, there would be these would be the most important. In other types of writing, maybe technical writing with an extra, the author may be trying to convince you of something, trying very hard to win you over to a point of view. And if that is the case, then these questions that I've highlighted will become more relevant, because they address the persuasive techniques that the author may be using, in addition to the straight up, clear technical or scientific arguments. So these first group are the the more significant questions that'll help you answer how well does the author achieve a scientific or technical piece of writing. And finally, the final step is to take all of these answers that you're coming up with, these assessments, and as with any other essay, begin to organize them and fit them into some sort of an outline. So once you've gone through the process of creating your material, your content for the critique, writing the critique in an organized and logical manner will follow the same process as any other piece of writing will.